Now remember, to get into battle, you need armor. When I, of course, stepped on this pulpit today, I'm sure, usually you expect me to be in a suit and a tie. But when I stepped up here today, I'm not in a suit and a tie. I'm wearing this army combat fatigue. I'm sure it must have evoked certain feelings or certain images or certain perceptions in your mind. Obviously, apart from the fact that you were confused, but also you must have thought, what is going on? Has the pastor joined the army? All right? Because what I'm wearing speaks for itself. Am I right? Come on, sit down, Burubu, talk to me. Am I right? It speaks for itself. When you see somebody wearing this is somebody who has been conscripted. It means that he is a member of an armed force somewhere. In this case, probably an armed force here in this country. And it means when you join or when you're conscripted in an army, it is not just a job, all right? It means that this person is ready for what? For battle. And when you see somebody who is in the army, they will even have some headgear to protect them. They will have all kinds of, the shoes are different because you don't go into a battle wearing a suit and a tie or a nice kitenge dress or some jeans and a t-shirt. You don't do that. Because you are in the army, you are expected to wear certain clothing and you are expected to behave in a certain way. As a matter of fact, the Apostle Paul uses the analogy of the army. And especially that time with the picture of the Roman army, because those were the people who were in power. The Romans were the ones in power. So often he would use that analogy to demonstrate some spiritual truth. No one engages in warfare entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as a soldier. Are you with me? In Pauline theology, what we call Pauline theology, is that the Christian, the child of God, when you are born again and you're in covenant with God, there are many pictures, there are many figures that actually describe you. Yes, you are a son. Yes, of course, uses the analogy also that you're a sheep. Uses the analogy that you're a citizen of the kingdom of God. But he also uses the analogy or the picture that you have been conscripted into the army of God. It's not a choice once you're born again. The day you accepted Christ, it means that you enlisted into the army of God. So that means that when you're born again, spiritual warfare is not something you choose to do. It is something you must be engaged in. Do I have some witnesses in the house of the Lord? So all of us at one level or the other must be engaged in spiritual warfare. We cannot escape from it. The Apostle Paul again goes on and says that though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. So yes, whereas, of course, we have armies in this world, the nations to protect nations, or what we are seeing happening in Russia and Ukraine right now, war happening, and the people who are engaged are the military, people who are trained for combat. But Paul then says that the weapons we fight with, they are actually not weapons of this world. Are you with me? All right, they're not. So I may have a whole artillery with me. I may have a machine gun with me. I may have a rocket launcher with me, or grenades and what have you. But he says this, that on the contrary, now talking about our weapons, he says they have divine power to demolish strongholds. So notice he makes a distinction. He says, yes, the weapons of this world probably are powerful. They can destroy buildings, they can destroy people, they can kill people. But the weapons that we have as God's people actually have divine power. They are invisible, but make no mistake about it, because they have power. They are more powerful than the most powerful nuclear weapon that there is known to man. There is nothing in this world that is more powerful than the weapons of our spiritual warfare. Are you with me? There is nothing, because ours, the weapons of this world can only engage in the physical realm, but ours will demolish strongholds. Strongholds in the spiritual realm. Oh, come on, I wish I had more Christians in the house who know what I'm talking about today. We have that even the weakest of us as God's people is more powerful than the biggest general in the world. but only if they know how to engage in spiritual warfare.